If you think that reinvention is just a new haircut and a vision board, then sit down, because we are not here to shush your LinkedIn bio or buy matching journals at Indigo. We're here to torch the script that you've been following, the one that's been boring the hell out of you. Ever feel like life passed you by while you were being responsible? Like everyone else got a head start on success, on happiness or purpose, and now you're just trying not to fall asleep during your own life. Well, welcome to Too Late My Ass. This is the podcast for anyone who's ever thought it was too late. Too late to dream again, to build again, or begin again. So spoiler alert, it's not. I'm Faye Chappell, and I'm here to help you burn the rule book, rewrite the script, and become the main character in your next chapter. So whether you're 39, 49, 59, or 79, this isn't about getting your groove back. It's about finally giving yourself permission to freaking exist exactly as you are. So hit subscribe, tell that inner critic to take several seats, and let's make this your comeback era, because too late, my ass. Today, we're talking about why reinvention isn't cosmetic. It is a full-on revolt. And if that makes you nervous, well, good, because exactly what and where we start change. That's where we started. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us go forward, right? I mean, the lie of the makeover reinvention, that's probably one that you've been living with, right? The new haircut, the new me moment, right? It feels good for a week, and then life looks exactly the same, right? Reinvention isn't about the aesthetic upgrades. It's really about not being about putting on new lipstick, but in fact, it's about putting out the dumpster fire, right? Real reinvention is about substance, not surface. So you don't need better contouring. You need a revolution in how you live, how you choose to live, and how you show up. So I want you to write down one thing that you've been upgrading, right, to feel in control, whether it's your clothes or your job title or your gym routine. And then I want you to ask yourself this question: did this actually change my life or just distract me for 30 days? Think about that. Did it change my life or did it distract me? We all go into those things. You know, I just need a new haircut. I just need to lose 10 pounds and then my life will change. But will it? Have you tried it? Because what usually happens is you might change the hair, or you might get a new outfit, but the mindset is still there, right? And so you need to make sure that you see those signs, the signs that say you're ready for a revolt, right? I want you to really think about, have you been exhausted by the role that you've been playing, right? And you feel kind of like a sidekick in your own life because nothing really changes no matter what you try. And, you know, you might see these red flags. You can predict, for example, that every day of your week will bore you to tears. Who's with me? Because you know every single day is the same. Or you get irrationally jealous when you see someone doing what you want to do. Oh, that's a big one. A lot of my clients are like that, right? I can do that. I can go on to speak. I can go on stage. I can do all those things. But what's the difference between the person doing them and you? It's that they're actually doing them, right? But you're still irrationally jealous about it. Big red flag. Another one is that you've secretly started Googling how to start over at age 50 or how to start over at age 60, but you don't really know what you're trying to start over, right? So you fantasize about leaving rather than building. I know that is symptomatic for a lot of you, right? Because I have friends that say, I can't wait to quit work. I can't wait to retire so that I can do nothing. So they're thinking about leaving rather than what they want to do. Do they want to build? I mean, ask yourself, are you wanting to do something new? It doesn't mean you have to build a business, but maybe you want to start a podcast. Maybe you want to get fit. Maybe you want to travel. What is it that you want to build rather than to just leave? Does that make sense? Because I want you to check how many of these things that we just talked about you're guilty of, right? Is it more than 2? Because if it is, then maybe you're overdue for a tweak, right? Maybe it's more than a tweak. Maybe you're overdue for a complete revolt. And that's what this is all about. It's about really this whole podcast is about getting yourself out of your comfort zone to really think about what reinvention really means. What does it mean? Because reinvention is not abandoning everything you've built. That is not reinvention. Reinvention is editing your life like a ruthless dictator, right? Or a ruthless director, like a director when they cut scenes that don't serve them. So you're going to cut things that don't serve you, and you're going to write new ones in, right? You're going to write new ones in. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting over from your experience. And that's the key mistake most people make. They get out of what they've been doing for the last 30, 40 years, and they think they have to start something completely new and forget everything they've done. No, 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 no. You're not starting from scratch. Got that? You're starting from experience. Because the truth is about reinvention, it's messy, right? It's messy, it will piss people off, and it will make you feel alive again, right? So I started too late my ass because I was fed up. I didn't care anymore if people didn't like what I was going to say, if they didn't like the fact that I occasionally use language that might be a little colorful. I didn't care. But what I've created, what I feel like when I'm doing these podcasts is I feel great. I feel alive because I'm talking about what I truly believe rather than what I think people want to hear, right? So I want you to write down one scene, okay, in your life that needs to be cut, and one scene that you're dying to add. So maybe what needs to be cut is you saying that you'll never be healthy, you'll never be at the weight you want, if you're thinking of that side of your life. And maybe the scene you're dying to add is that you want to walk in the room and feel like you're fit for the first time in your life, and you feel healthy and great, and you're excited about what to do. Because when I talk about getting healthy and losing weight, or just, getting your health optimized, it's not to look a certain way. And if that's your goal, that's fine. But what I want it to do is for you to get healthy so that you can do things that you've only thought about, or that you were insanely jealous of seeing other people do. So maybe it is you are interested in going for a hike. If you're on Instagram or you're on Reels or even on LinkedIn, people will show you all these gorgeous places that you can hike. And the first thing you usually think of is, I want to do that. Second thing is, I don't think I can last. So if you realize that one of the scenes in your life is to get healthy so you can do that, you need to cut out that mindset that says, I can't get healthy, that I don't want to do that. So really, really think about this. So what we're trying to do is we're really creating your revolt blueprint, right? We're burning the old script. So I want you to name those expectations, those rules, or the roles that you are done with. You are not willing anymore to be a good employee, a perfect parent, a quiet friend, right? You're not willing to do everything that you are expected to do by everyone else. Now, I still mean you still have to be a good human being, right? But I want you to physically write down who and what you're not willing to be or do anymore, okay? I want you to physically write that down. So it might be, I am not willing to be unhealthy. I am not willing to be the yes person. I am not willing to put everyone in front of me, and I never have time for myself. Whatever it is, I'm not willing to not explore what I've always wanted to do in life, right? I want you to write them all down, and then I want you to literally destroy the paper, burn it, rip it up, shred it, whatever. You are telling yourself, I'm burning this old script. I am ready to move forward. And then I want you to really choose your rebel move, right? So I want you to pick one action that feels defiant but aligned, right? So you can launch that project, or you can say no to that toxic friend or toxic client. You can wear the thing that you always wanted to wear, but you thought it wasn't appropriate for the corporate office, right? Or you might sign up for a new class. So, for example, my business partner and I decided to do, we always like to try some unique, different exercise classes. And we did something completely different, drove an hour to get there, right? We wanted to try it. And it was like, who would drive an hour to do something like that? Nobody, but we thought we would give it a shot. And we did it. And we loved doing it. We didn't like the class, but we did something new, right? We did something new. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be yours, right? If you've always wanted to wear a red beret, wear the damn red beret. If you're into cowboy hats, wear the cowboy hat. If you want to launch a podcast, launch the podcast already. What is your rebel move? What's your rebel move, right? Then I want you to build your Revolt allies, okay? Because stop trying to do it alone. I want you to surround yourself with maybe 2 or 3 people that don't flinch when you speak the truth. I'm surrounded by thousands who are listening to this podcast, and I'm surrounded by all my friends who, when I told what I was going to do, they said, great idea. I want you to surround yourself with people that really won't flinch when whatever you have to say. You know, we have a Mastermind City, which is our business realm. We have coaching every week. And, to pretty much tell it like it is. So people that don't like to hear the real truth don't show up. And the people that want to be pushed and want to understand what their truth is, and we can turn it around and help them, they're the ones that show up. So I want you to be surrounded. Part of it, I'm starting an inner circle, which is literally just a monthly membership that people come in, they can listen or watch extended versions of what we're talking about. But it is a community, and we'll have Q&As and all different things. If that's something you want to do, cool. But you don't have to join with us. You just have to be surrounded by someone, even one person, that does not flinch when you speak your truth. Does that make sense? How many of you are a little bit worried sometimes, the people you're around, to say what you mean? Luckily for me, I've never really had that issue, but I know a lot of people do, right? So I want you to think about it, and I want you to really normalize that new you, right? I want you to repeat your rebel moves until they stop feeling rebellious and they feel natural. That's how reinvention sticks, right? It starts to feel natural. This is always what you've intended to do. This is how you feel you, right? Remember that before you got stuck in those jobs that you really didn't love, you loved to do other things. So we're going to get back to that, right? It reminds me, for example, I know a woman who left her law career when she was 52. And what did she start? She started a pottery studio. And everyone said she was crazy. How could you have gone through all that school and all that money and everything, and you had a great job? And she's like, I am happy. I love making pottery. I don't make a lot of money, but I make enough to pay my bills, and then I get to enjoy my life. How cool is that? Or I remember when I was doing my MBA at school, there was a guy who ended what we thought was his perfect marriage, right? We thought they were all happy. But then, when I spoke with him, he said he realized he was playing a character. He was playing, the good husband, and he really wasn't in that marriage. And understand that's not selfish, because it's selfish to stay in a marriage that the other person doesn't even know you're not happy. So they split, and his wife at the time went on to meet a really great guy, and he met another woman, and they are with their right partners. So staying somewhere instead of reinventing when you should do other things, that's important, right? Or, I stepped off my safe path. I have several other podcasts. I have coaching clients, and I have consulting clients in corporate. And I stepped off my safe path, and I said, too late my ass. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to help people understand that it's okay. Reinvention looks different for everyone, but it always requires a revolt. It always requires you to say to yourself, I'm done. I am ready to go to the next level. I am ready to reinvent, not lose where I've been, but reinvent what I really want to look like in life, right? So by the time you're listening to all of this, right? If you're done listening, I want you to do some little homework for me, okay? You're listening to this because you're here for a reason, for a purpose. You showed up today, you clicked that podcast listen button because you knew that something I'm saying is resonating with you. And maybe it's the tweak you need to go forward. So I want you to name the role you're revolting against. That's number one, right? What is it that you're trying to get away from? What is it that you want to change? What is it that you want to do differently? So name that revolt. That's number one. Name that role, right? Number two is I want you to declare your first rebel move out loud to yourself or to somebody you trust. What is the rebel move? Are you going to change careers? Are you going to start writing a book? Are you going to go out for a jog? Are you going to a pickleball class? Or are you going to a yoga class and you've never done it in your life? What is it that you want to do your first rebel move? And I want you to schedule it in this week, not next year, not someday. I want you to do it this week. Why? Because you're hot right now. You want to do it. And if you wait till you're ready, you'll be waiting till you're about 95 or, beyond that. And maybe it'll be too late. So you don't need a makeover, you need a revolt, because reinvention isn't about looking better, it's about living louder. And in this episode, if it really lifted you in some way, or if it lit a fire in you or made a difference, I want you to hit that subscribe, I want you to leave a review and grab your free comeback kit at toolatemyass.com, because that will help you. There's prompts in there that will help you write everything down. And hey, if you're ready to go even deeper, you can join us in Inner Circle. It starts October 1st. You'll get private episodes, you'll get tools. And if you leave a review of the podcast and send us a screenshot, we're going to give you 3 months free. So that would be kind of cool to test it out, see if it is the tribe that you want to be with. So remember, you're not too late. You're right on time. Too late? My ass. Thanks for listening to Too Late My Ass. If this episode made you feel seen or heard or a little more ready to take your damn life back, then go ahead and hit that follow button. If you want to go deeper, grab your free comeback kit at toolatemyass.com and join the Act 2 Insiders list for weekly tools, community, and reminders that your story is far from over. Remember, you're not done. You're just getting started. Too Late My Ass, produced by the City Media Group.